Hey class, welcome back to Chapter 5 Matrices. Today we are looking at Exercise 5G, Communications and Connections. So this is another application of matrices exercise. It will review some of the stuff that we looked at early on in the chapter about translating networks, communication networks specifically, into matrices, and then using that matrix information to solve other problems. So we'll jump straight in with an example. Communications between Anna, Elsa, Olaf, Sven, and Hans are shown at right here in this network. We're going to write a matrix C to represent the connections. So C equals. The first thing we're going to do before I even put my matrix and try and figure out how big it's going to be, I'm going to put in the column headings. So Anna, Elsa, we'll go Hans, we'll put them in alphabetical order, Olaf, and Sven, and then the same thing down the rows, Anna, Elsa, Hans, Olaf, Sven. Put the square brackets in, and now we need to complete the matrix. So Anna does not communicate with herself. She communicates directly with Elsa. She communicates directly with Hans. She communicates directly with Olaf, and she does not communicate directly with Sven, as indicated by the arrows. We can also complete the row, the column in the same way. Okay, so this is Anna is also, if Anna directly communicates with Elsa here, then Elsa directly communicates with Anna. We'll keep going. Elsa, we've already filled in the Anna section. She communicates directly only with Olaf otherwise. So she does not communicate with herself, she does not communicate with Hans, she does communicate with Olaf and not with Sven, and we mirror that here. Hans only communicates directly with Anna, so we're going to fill the rest of his row and his column with zeros. Olaf directly communicates with Anna, Elsa, and also Sven, and not himself, and Sven does not communicate with himself. Okay, we have translated this network into a matrix. What information is given by column 1? Column 1 being, or column A, sorry, is this one. From that column, we know that Anna directly communicates with only 3 people, okay? So to find that 3 people, we take the sum of the row. So 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3. Now to find C squared. Obviously, to multiply this huge matrix by itself by hand is going to be an absolute nightmare of a task. So you're going to do this on the CAS. Okay, so we're going to use the CAS. We're going to store this matrix using the control key and then the store, which is written above the variable VAR button on the keyboard, to store this matrix as C. And then from there, we're going to calculate C squared. So you're literally going to type in C to the power of 2 or C times C, and it spits out this matrix. I seem to have written using the CAS twice. There we go. Okay. So we have this matrix here. What is the total number of ways that Anna can communicate with someone via someone else? So here we had the direct communications between each character, obviously from Frozen. I love that movie. Here we have now the 2-step communication process. So what this means is that Anna can communicate to Hans, who can then communicate to her. Anna communicates to Olaf, who can then pass the message on to Sven. Or Anna can tell Olaf something and then he tells Elsa, or Elsa then Olaf. So there is a 2-step process. Anna is now communicating via someone else in the C squared matrix. Okay, so that is what that information tells us. So the total number of ways that Anna can communicate to someone via someone else is again going to be given by the sum of row A. So the sum of this first column, or row, doesn't really matter which one you use because they are the same, they're mirrored in the axis. The total number of ways that Anna can communicate with someone via someone else is 3 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1. So the sum, that is a funny looking M already, that's going to be an H, is the sum of column or row A, which is 6. So 6 different ways that she communicates to someone via someone else. And now we're going to list each of these chains of connections. So the way that we read this, in this first bit here, which I will highlight in, let's go yellow, this first number 3 is in column A, row A. So what that tells us is that Anna communicates with herself 3 different ways. To do that, she can communicate to Hans, who can then let her know something. So that's like saying, hey Hans, can you remind me that I like sandwiches? And then Hans will tell her later that she likes sandwiches. So she's communicated to herself. Anna can tell Elsa something, and then Elsa can remind her, like, hey, Anna, you said we were going to go build a snowman later. I know, I should stop with the references. Anna can also communicate with Olaf, who can then remind her something. So those are our 3 connections between Anna and herself. I'm just going to put all of them sort of in squiggly. You don't need to put them in brackets. I'm just trying to identify them. Okay, the next one now. Let's go with light blue. Now we're looking at the number of ways that Anna can communicate to Elsa via someone else. So we're looking at, and I may write this in the same color blue as well, just to help match it up. Anna can communicate via someone to Elsa, and we look back at the network. Well, she can communicate to Olaf, who can then communicate to Elsa. There is no way that she can communicate to Hans via someone else, so we can skip that one. Let's look at, sorry, I am trying to pick a different color highlighter. There we go. She can communicate to Olaf via someone else. So to do that, Anna can communicate to someone who then continues to communicate that through to Olaf. And we look back at the network, that has to be Elsa because she's the only one in between the two. And finally, very last one now, Anna to communicate something to Sven via someone else, and we get Anna to someone to Sven, and the only person in that chain is Olaf. So there are all of the 6 ways that Anna can communicate to someone via someone else. This, of course, you will have to do by hand. There's translating a network into a matrix. But this here, I would recommend using the Casful and then doing the rest of it basically by hand or mentally. Adding the columns shouldn't be too difficult. And then identifying these chains, if you know how to read this matrix here, this 2-way communication matrix, will help you out a lot, okay? So store this, square it, find the sum that you're looking for, and then identify the parts, which of course you can just trace directly through here. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so as many ways as you can trace Anna's name, 2 ways. That's all for today, guys. As always, if you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, good luck with the work, and I'll speak to you all very soon.